Hey you guys, this is Shanita. Thank you so much for clicking onto another video. I am so glad to have you with me. As you can see by the title, we are about to get down to business about this dry natural hair. I have a bunch of tips and products that I want to talk to you about in this video, and it is going to be rather condensed because this is sort of a last minute unplanned video. Hopefully it won't be all over the place, but I really want to get some tips and some tricks to you guys to help with moisturizing your dry natural hair. So if you are interested in hearing these tips that have saved my natural hair, then stay tuned. Okay, so if you are new to the channel, I've never been on here, welcome. I am so glad that you clicked on, and I hope that you find what you are looking for either on this video or maybe one of the others. Take a look around on the channel. If you see something that you like or something that may be helpful to you or to someone else you know, share the video or subscribe down below so you can learn all about the things that we share on this channel to kind of help ease our journeys as we're working through this all together. Okay, so I don't want to repeat a lot of the things that I know you all already know. I know that you know that natural hair is just prone to be dry. You know that the sebum from the scalp is supposed to travel down the lengths of the hair, ideally to keep the hair moisturized. But because of our coils and kinks and our kinky hair, the sebum has a really hard time traveling down the lengths of the hair strand. So we have to artificially replace the moisture levels in our hair to keep it moisturized. So moisturized hair is ideally what you are looking for above anything else, above hair length, above a great looking, defined, shiny style. You want your hair to be moisturized first and foremost. Moisturized hair will be less likely to break. It is generally manageable, more manageable. It is softer, and it will allow you to maintain the length of your hair so that you will actually be able to see it grow during your journey. A lot of us struggle with keeping moisture levels in our hair, whether it be to practices or whether it be to products. I'm going to tell you exactly what I want you to do on each and every wash day until you see the results of your moisture levels. And I promise you, if you do these steps in this order, you will see those results so soon, and you will be amazed at what you have learned about your hair over the next few weeks, okay? So first of all, I want you to pre-poo your hair. I know some of you are rolling your eyes thinking, I don't have time for this. That's an extra step that I don't need. Just go with me and promise me you'll do this for this next few weeks. And then you can tell me at the end that it was pointless and that I'm not going to do it again, and I will say, okay. But please just give it a chance. Whatever you've been doing hasn't been working as well. So please try it my way and let's see if we can get some different results, okay? So you can either use oil to pre-poo your hair, or you can use a store-bought pre-poo. I always section off my hair and then mist it with a little water, and I add and again, this is a sample oil. This is not necessarily the one I would always use, but this is, literally went in my stash and pulled out the first oil I saw. And this one is a combination of coconut oil and jojoba oil from Desert Essence. And so I pulled that off. And this is the infamous African Pride Moisture Miracle Pre-Shampoo. You can either buy one already put together or just use oil. If you don't have a pre-poo, get some olive oil out of the kitchen, use some coconut oil, castor oil, whatever oil you have in your possession. Take that oil or pre-poo and put it from the roots to the ends of your hair. Every single solitary strand. Section it off so that you can make sure it gets on all of your strands. You can use the pre-enhanced method to help it glide all the way to the ends of your hair. Once you have done your entire head like that, I want you to either put a plastic cap on and sit under a dryer for 30 minutes. If you have time and you can Let it just not get under the dryer, and you can let it sit for maybe an hour or two, or even overnight. A lot of times I will pre-poo overnight if I can and I don't have a lot going on the next day. Wear it for a few hours without. If you don't have a lot of time, set your dryer for 30 minutes, or your conditioning cap or whatever you use for heat, 30 minutes under the heat, and let that oil kind of penetrate and coat the strands of your hair. Next, I want you to shampoo your hair. Preferably find you a moisturizing shampoo that does not have sulfates in it. That is going to be almost any natural hair product brand you can find. Almost all of them are sulfate free now. I pulled some from my shelf. I have Curls Dynasty. I have, let me see, Aunt Jackie's Oh So Clean Moisturizing Shampoo. I have Annabelle's Perfect Blend Extreme Hydration Shampoo. I have one from Comet. This is their Egyptian Wheatgrass Cleansing Tea. There are tons of natural brands out there that have sulfate-free shampoo. Just make sure, you may already have one in your stash that you can use that does just as well. I just want you to shampoo your hair. The only optional step I will give you here is the rinse out conditioning phase. I used to not be a rinse out conditioner. I always shampooed and went straight to deep conditioning until once I bought a hair set that had the shampoo and the conditioner in it together. And so of course I had it, I was going to use it. So I shampooed and then I used the rinse out conditioner. And upon rinsing it out, I thought, I get it. Like, I see why this is used. I use that rinse out conditioner because, number one, it softens my hair even more, even if I'm using a moisturizing shampoo. A good rinse out conditioner will always soften your hair more. I'm able to detangle at that point. I can take my detangling brush and slowly from the ends, working my way up, and detangle my hair with a rinse out conditioner. It also allows some more moisture to coat the hair, and it just makes your hair way more manageable. So it's easier to separate. Everything about the process at this point is easier, even getting ready for that deep conditioning. It's like this transition step between shampoo and deep conditioning. And so I normally put the conditioner on and put a plastic bag on my head. And at that point is when I will shower, shave, exfoliate, do whatever I need to do in the shower while that is sitting. And then I will rinse out that rinse out conditioner and get out of the shower using a cotton t-shirt or a microfiber cotton towel to hold my hair. I will then, because my hair is still in sections, I will sit down and I will use a deep conditioner in my hair. If you have seen any of my videos before, then you know how I do this. I section it off. I add deep conditioner to the perimeter of each section. I go in between the sections. I go from root to end. Every single bit of my hair is covered from root to ends. I do not skimp with deep conditioner. It is very heavy-handed to a lot of people, but it's what I do. It's just what has worked, and if it's not broke, I'm not going to try to fix it. So everyone has to do what works for them. I use my deep conditioner generously, and then I pin my hair up in sections with a bobby pin, or either use some Bantu knots just to twist it out of the way. I put back on my plastic cap, and then I sit under my heating cap for 30 minutes. Again, this is probably the most important step of your wash day. Deep conditioning is so vital. Adding heat to it just kicks it up a notch. Deep conditioning is a step that allows the conditioner that's on your hair to literally absorb into the insides of the strands of your hair. It's hard to think about that because we know our hairs to be just this little tiny little sliver of product. I mean, a little tiny sliver of, well, hair. But if you saw your hair under a microscope, you would be amazed. It would be like this thick in diameter. And so if you can imagine all of that conditioner being absorbed into the inner strands of your hair shaft. That's exactly what deep conditioners do. A good deep conditioner will have water, first of all, and it will have different kinds of oils, maybe different butters, some extracts. I am sure you all have a deep conditioner that you love. If I were to ask, I know everyone has a favorite. Use the deep conditioner of your choice. I am really finding the value in silicone-free deep conditioners. I have a ton of them with silicones in it, and so I have to decide what I'm going to do about those because most of them have silicones in it, and I will probably use them sparingly here and there, but ideally maybe find one that does not have silicones in it, a more natural one to use while we're increasing the moisture levels. Silicones have been shown to block some of the moisture that your hair is able to obtain. So all off subject, do a deep conditioner with heat at least 30 minutes. At least 30 minutes. If you don't use heat, then I'm going to suggest that maybe you sit with it, with the deep conditioner in your hair, maybe an hour, maybe while you, I don't know, cook or clean or do something around the house, but an hour, 30 minutes with heat, and then rinse that deep conditioner out. It is usually at this point when I do my most detangling. I take a detangling brush, and the kind that I have is one of these, and this is a really hard one. I just bought a new one that I showed in my curls and potions video, but one that separates like this. I'm sure you guys have seen this kind all on Instagram, but when you glide your hair through it, the brush automatically separates so that it gives your hair a chance to detangle smoothly without ripping out the hair. These are very, very good. So it is at that point where I take each section of my hair and detangle with that brush as I'm rinsing out the deep conditioner in my hair. My hair has the most slip at this point, so I can glide my fingers or brush through it, and in addition to the force from the water, it just glides through my hair and it just pulls out all of those detangled hairs. You want to start at the ends, obviously, working your hair up to the roots so that by the time the rest of the strand is completely cleared of tangled hair, then you can start from the roots and then brush your hair from roots to end. And from there, I tie my hair up again in the microfiber towel or cotton t-shirt. And a lot of people do a leave-in conditioner in the shower. I typically get out. It just depends on what kind of style I'm going to do. But most of the time, I get out of the shower, and I dress while my hair is still in the towel, and then I get out, and in sections again, I use a leave-in conditioner. I always use a leave-in conditioner. This is a step I've also had to learn the hard way. You have to find a leave-in conditioner that works for your hair. I have seen some people use a leave-in conditioner that I can use. They thought it was so soft and moisturizing and the best thing from heaven. And I used it and it felt just like I put water on my hair. Hair that is thicker and more coarser and low porosity usually will need a more thicker leave-in conditioner. Some examples are Miche Lavish Leave-In. I pulled down the Camille Rose Coconut Water Leave-In. I have Kinky Curly Not Today's Leave-In. Again, these are just examples. Annabelle's Perfect Blend Extreme Hydration Leave-In Conditioner. And I love this Miele Organics Avocado Hair Milk. There are tons of options. But if you notice, every one of these that have shown you are silicone free. These are all natural leave-in conditioners with amazing absorbable, moisturizing, and hydrating ingredients. I do, again, have leave-in conditioners that have silicones in them, but when I came to do this video and wanted to think about the leave-ins that were the best of the best, and there are still some on my shelf that are the best of the best, I did notice after I pulled these down that every one of them were leave-ins that did not have silicones. That was not intentional. I didn't realize it till after then. So there's definitely something to be said about the moisturizing ingredients in some of the brands that do not have silicones in it. So I put my leave-in in. I put a olive oil on top of my leave-in, and this is probably something most of you have even not heard of before, and it is not necessary. I'm just telling you what I do. I put a few drops of olive oil on top of each section, and I take my sections and I twist them into big twists. I typically have about 6 sections, and then I wrap my head with the sections of hair. So the 2 on the front here, I'll take this one, pin it to this side with a bobby pin, take the one on this side, pin it to the other side with a bobby pin, and I'll do that in the middle and at the back. I am trying to get my hair to stretch as it is starting to slowly evaporate some of the water. I'm not going to keep my hair like this until it dries. I keep it like that until it's about 60-70% dry, because I want my hair to still be damp when I go to apply my styling products. So at the point where I'm now ready to style, so after I have let my hair kind of air dry about 50-60% of the way, I am going to come back at that point and I am going to add a styler to the top of my leave-in. Now, depending on how much my hair has dried out, say for instance, if it is dry, I've let it dry too much, I may have to come back and spray more water on it to make it damp, not to make it wet. But I want to make it damp, because typically I find that if I put my stylers on top of damp hair, the moisturizer seals in beautifully. It allows it a lot more shine, and the moisture stays longer, and the definition is there when I do that. So on top of that leave-in, let's say I've let it dry now and it's mostly dry. This happened to me my last wash day. I was intending to let it sit until my hair was about 60-70% dry, but I got busy. When I came back, it was literally 90 or 95% dry. I only had just a little patch that was still wet. So I had to go back and re-wet my hair. Pardon me, I had to dampen my hair. I put a few sprays of water on this section, and then again use the praying hands method to squeeze that water into the section, and then add my styler. If you are a person who uses a moisturizer and a styler, I just don't want you to make the mistake of mixing up the two. So a moisturizer is typically one that starts with water. It is always water-based, and it may have some butters, definitely some oils and extracts in it after that. And then you want to seal your hair with a sealer. This is going to be a oil, or it may be some sort of butter mix, or it could be a just another light gel. Main Choice has a lot of lighter gels, the 24 karat twisting gel, the braid glaze gels that you can then put on top of a moisturizer that will seal that moisture in, allows your hair to stay moisturized, and you get shine, you get define, you get beautiful hair. But I generally opt for, after I've done that leave-in, I may again or may not have to mist my hair with water. But when I go to take those twists down that I have pinned to opposite sides of my head, I will add a styler. My styler will always have butter in it. It will always have oil in it. And it will generally, at this point, still be water-based. So it will still have water in it. And I pulled a few that I know for sure I could use right on top of a leave-in, and my hair will be fine the rest of the week. I pulled Carol Starter's Cocoa Cream, and it is, yes, first ingredient is water. And I have As I Am Double Butter Cream. This is Rich Daily Moisturizer. Daily is completely not a thing. There's no reason anybody should have to use this daily. It is so moisturizing, but it is water-based as well. I have Honey's Handmade Chocolate Detangling Conditioning Cream. Some of my regular subscribers know that this is their kids line that I bought, and it actually is advertised, I believe, as a conditioner, but the ingredients are so pure and so clean. It gives the most amazing twist out and braid out that I have ever had. I can use it right on top of dry hair. I don't have to spritz with water after this. This stuff just absorbs instantly into your hair, and it moisturizes, and it only has about 5 ingredients. I had no idea I would get such great moisture and definition from this product. And then I pulled Product Junkies Naturals Fluffalicious Moisture Hair Cream. Look at my old bottle, so beat up. But it has water in it too. So like these products has water, aloe vera juice, there's cocoa butter, there's kapuasu butter, but it has flaxseed gel, rice bran oil, agave nectar, olive butter, castor oil, avocado oil. So all of my stylers typically are butter and oil based, and I can put those on top of a leave-in. Sometimes I will use a moisturizer on top of my leave-in and find that it's just too light, that it's just not going to provide enough moisture in my hair, and if so, it's going to absorb out quickly. And generally you kind of have to do some trial and error with different products to know that. If you have more coarser, denser hair, you probably have already figured out that your hair likes thicker products. So if you buy a moisturizer and it's a lot thinner than you thought it was going to be, and putting it on you think, I know this is not going to be moisturizing enough, then you can still go in, say, with one of these stylers on top of it. Or if you have a butter mix of some sort that you've either handmade or that you've bought from someone, there's a lot of butter based products out there as well, then you can put that on top of there. Give it time to properly dry, and voila. I know that was a lot. I just tried to give as much detail as I could. It really is not that much time. It is so worth it. If you do this, and I know that a lot of people say I only wash once every 2 weeks, or I only deep condition once every 2 weeks. These particular steps that I've given you, I really suggest you do them every single week, because they add so much moisture back into your hair. And the more moisture you get into your hair, the more you're kind of training your hair to hold on to moisture. If you only put moisture in on wash day or once a week, then probably 5 days later, your hair is going to be dry again. So now if you go another 5 or 6 days, then your hair is going to be looking dull. It's going to be tangled. It's going to be, frizzy, and you're not going to be happy with it. So in order to keep it not only moisturized and hydrated and soft, it's going to look good, and you're going to feel good, and you're going to realize that it was really, really worth the effort. So some of the other tips I wanted to just some random things that I'm thinking of, and which we all know, is to stay hydrated from the inside. Water is so important. I know you guys hear this all the time, but it really, really is true. It is good for so many of things, but when you're trying to have something on your outside to look good and your insides are full of junk and dehydrated, it's going to show on the outside. It's going to show on the outside. And so your hair is growing in from your scalp, the blood and hydration and liquids and oxygen that's flowing around in your scalp. You want all of that to be healthy so that you can produce hair that is healthy from the start. Also, if you have done your hair in one of these butters, or in the butter of your choice that you have used to moisturize your hair, and say 2-3 days in, you think, okay, my hair is getting that little crispy feel on the ends at some places, you can always take a refreshing spray. You can use water, but a refresher spray, I'm trying to see if I have one around here. I don't. And you know what I mean, a refresher spray, or some people call them so like a moisture spritz or a hydrating spritz. Different companies call them different things, but they're always more water water-based than anything else, and they have other ingredients in them that you can just spray lightly on top of your hair. So say you use one of these stylers and then Thursday or Wednesday you realize, well, my hair is starting to feel a little dry, you can take that mist and mist over your hair and maybe retwist in a few places or put it in some big twists, and you will be amazed how in the morning when you take those twists out, how much more hydrated your hair is. So I don't want this to be much longer than that, guys. If you have any questions, then just drop them down below. I know this was all over the place because it was completely unplanned, and I wanted to at least put that out there because I hear that so much, and I just wanted you to have some tips that have helped me and to learn from my failures and mistakes and setbacks, and hope that something here will be of value to you or to someone you know. If you want more examples of products or I don't know, anything else that I've said that you want clarified or you want some more feedback on, drop it down below and then I'll respond back to you personally to answer your questions. But at any rate, you guys, I've taken up so much of your time. I thank you for your attention and for your time. I hope this was of some help to you, and I would appreciate if you would subscribe and give me a thumbs up to let me know that you like this sort of content of me just talking and sharing rather than demoing stuff. Then I have no problems with that. And if you have any suggestions that you want me to talk about, then please drop those down below as well. I hope you all are having a great day. So until next time, bye-bye.